Hello students, so in this video I'll be discussing the second part of the immune system, which is given immunity topic in your class 12 NCERT book. I'll be discussing allergies, autoimmunity and the immune system of our body. So when we talk about allergy, many of you must have suffered from allergic reactions. What happens in allergy? Like you move out and you're exposed to dust. Dust allergy is very common. You suffer from continuous sneezing or wheezing. You suffer from running nose. There might be allergy due to insect bite, where you will start itching all over your body. There might be allergy to different pollen grains, to different food items. Food item allergy is very common. So what basically happens, allergy is a hyper sensitivity reaction of our body to some kind of external substances, and that external substances to which our body shows such kind of hypersensitivity, those are called allergens. Now generally, how do we search for allergen? So when we suffer from any allergy and we go to a doctor, now a person may be allergic to different allergens. So how that is determined? In the skin, or the person is exposed to different allergen in very small amount, and the reaction of the body is observed. Now why our body shows allergic reaction? Now though it is having a negative impact, but just like fever, allergic reactions are also very important, because that helps you to understand that your body is sensitive to something and you need to stay away from that. Just like fever, if we don't develop fever, we will never visit a doctor. So having a fever is good because it tells something is wrong with your body. So same way, allergy also tells you that your body is sensitive to certain substances. Now how allergic reaction occurs? Allergic reaction occurs due to overproduction of certain types of antibody, which are IgE type of antibody. In the earlier video I discussed the 5 different types of antibody. Out of that, IgE type of antibody are produced in response to allergic reactions. So from where these antibodies will be secreted, and so you see, allergy is due to release of chemicals histamine and serotonin, it is mentioned here, from the mast cell. So where mast cell lies, suppose this is your the areolar tissue of your body. Areolar tissue is the packing tissue of your body, and in this areolar tissue there are certain cells which are embedded in this matrix. So the areolar tissue has fibers. Fibroblast will be there, reticular fibers will be there, and in that what happens, some cells are embedded. One of the main cells is the macrophage. I told you about that in the earlier video. These are amoeboid like cells. Then there are some cells which are called mast cells, MAST, mast cells. Now it is due to these mast cells, and they secrete these histamine and serotonin chemicals, and in response to those chemicals our body shows those allergic reaction. So when there will be allergic reaction in response to those chemicals, a lot of antibody IgE is produced by the protective cells or the lymphocytes of our body in reaction to the allergens. So having a slight allergic reaction is better because it shows our sensitivity, but too much of allergic reaction can be fatal. On my personal level also, I suffered from allergic reaction due to an insect bite, a small insect bite. It started itching, and you'll not believe, within a matter of half an hour my entire face got swollen and I developed difficulty in breathing. And if it would have continued for another 1 hour, I would have collapsed and it would have become fatal for me, leading to organ damage and all. Now what happens is that when allergy happens, the lymph tissues are affected, the flow of lymph is affected, and there is collection of fluid in the tissues. So there is swelling which occurs. So since it occurs due to two chemicals, histamine and serotonin, therefore allergic reactions are treated by giving drugs like antihistamine drugs are administered, injected, adrenaline and steroids are given. They give a very quick relief from that allergic reaction. Next we come to autoimmunity. Autoimmunity, I told you that our protective cells, that is the T cells. T cells are programmed in such a way so that they can distinguish between self and non-self. Self and non-self. Self means our own body cells and non-self means the foreign cells. So they can distinguish between them and they are programmed to attack the non-self cells. Now that is actually controlled by, out of the different types of T cells that I described in the earlier video, you have suppressor T cell. So this suppressor T cell is actually responsible for suppressing your immune system, so that your immune system means obviously the protective cells, they don't start attacking your own body cells. Now when they start attacking your own body cells, that means there is the suppressor T cells have failed or are failing. So when suppressor T cell fails or start failing, then your body cells, the protective cells of your body, starts attacking your own body cells. Then person develops what is called autoimmune disease. So that is one example is given here, that is rheumatoid arthritis. Rheumatoid arthritis is an example of autoimmune disease. So some of the diseases are even fatal in nature. So that is autoimmunity, how it happens when your body fails to recognize between, the immune cells of your body fails to recognize between self and non-self, and that is due to failure of the suppressor T cells. And at that time your cytotoxic T cells, which are the attacking cells, they will go and attack your own body cells. Next we come to immune system in our body. So when we talk about the immune system in our body, immune system is actually made up of the lymphoid organs, the tissues and the cells, and the antibody molecules. So the cells, the white blood cells, the B cells, all the 5 types of white blood cells, out of which the lymphocytes are the main cells, and lymphocytes also, there are B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes. B lymphocytes, the plasma B cells will produce antibodies. So those antibodies are part of your immune system. And the T cells, the cytotoxic T cells, helper T cells, they also suppressor T cells. These are the part of the immune system. So in the earlier video, we have talked about lymphocytes. Now why these are called lymphocytes? Because these particular cells are found in your lymph. And in order to understand what is lymph, it is basically the concept that you got in class 10. Suppose, just have a look here. Suppose there is a blood vessel, there is an artery. Artery is bringing the blood. Artery will break into arterioles. Arterioles will break into capillaries. So these capillaries, from these capillaries, fluid portion of the blood will ooze out. And again, after exchange of substances, the fluid will move into the blood. But most of this fluid which comes out, this is known as tissue fluid. This tissue fluid, whole tissue fluid does not go back into the blood. Okay, around 15% does not move in. So if 20 liters of blood circulates on a day, only 17 liters flow back through the veins, that is on a daily basis. So around 15% of this fluid, tissue fluid, after taking all the waste and everything from the tissue, they enter into another set of vessels which are called lymph vessels. And these lymph vessels at certain locations, they become swollen. These are called lymph nodes, and ultimately they go and join the blood vessels. So the tissue fluid is actually drained by the lymph vessels, and when the tissue fluid enters into these lymph vessels, then they are known as lymph. Now the lining of the lymph vessels are such, there is a kind of valve system. The cells are arranged in this particular way, the lining of the lymph vessels, so that there is gap, and due to pressure through this gap, if suppose these are the body tissue, from here bacteria, macrophages, anything, the waste, all can enter. Suppose there is the lymph vessel, they can enter along with the body fluid or the tissue fluid and flow along with the lymph. So that is the basic concept of how The lymph helps in draining out germs and everything. Now this has a big significance. We have to understand. It is not discussed so much in details in your course, but if you understand this, it becomes not only interesting, but you will remember it better. So this thing is clear how bacteria and everything enters due to this lining, which has some valve like, and due to high pressure outside, the microbes, then other macrophages, tissue fluid, all will enter and they will start flowing, and somewhere they will go and meet the lymph nodes. The swollen portion are called lymph nodes. Now first I will show you what the lymph system of our lymphatic system of our body consists of. This diagram in your NCERT book is not so clear, so I will just show you. Fine. This is the lymphatic system of your body. It looks like a elaborate electrical network whatsoever. Bone marrow that you can see here, bone marrow and the thymus. You should remember this thymus is highly active on our birth, and as we grow by teenage, by adolescent, this shrinks. So this bone marrow and the thymus, these are the primary lymphoid organ. Why primary? In the bone marrow, your B cells will mature, and in the thymus, the T cells or the T lymphocytes will mature. That's why these are called the primary lymphoid organ. And after maturing here, they will flow through the lymph and somehow make way to the lymph nodes. These swollen portions that you can see, they are concentrated below our armpits, in the neck portion, then near our thighs. So all these are the areas where the lymph nodes are concentrated. Then in the small intestine, pairs, patches you have got earlier in class 11. So these are the secondary lymphoid tissues, along with spleen. Spleen, you know, is the graveyard of red blood cells. It is one of the largest lymph organ. It is located just above the pancreas. So all these are the secondary lymphoid tissue, because here these T cells and B cells will get activated. Becoming mature and getting activated are two different aspects. So maturation occurs in B cells will mature in bone marrow, T cells will mature in thymus, and after that, when through the lymph, when they'll reach the lymph nodes, they will get activated. So how they get activated? Because upon reaching the lymph node, so there's a elaborate structure of the lymph node. The lymph flows in, there's the lymph node, and this is the outflow. Lymph will flow out like this. So cortical regions are there, medullary regions are there, no need to go so much in detail. However, here when these B cells and T cells, they will get exposed, because even microbes are coming from the affected tissues. So when they will come in contact with the microbes, then what happens? They get activated. So you know that antibody production, then your cytotoxic T cells, all these will get activated on getting exposed to antigen, and antigen exposure occurs here. So activation of those cells, the lymphocytes, will occur in this lymph nodes. So that is your lymphatic organ. So going back to our discussion, so another few diagrams I can show you where spleen is located, thymus, pairs, patches in the small intestine. So all these are the different lymph vessels. These are the diagrams I have downloaded. Okay, going back, so if you read the lymphatic system, so that is what basically has been explained, that what lymphatic system consists of, then how they mature. Here it is given: after maturation, the lymphocytes migrate to secondary lymphoid organs. I told you little while ago, the lymph nodes, spleen, then tonsils, pairs, patches of small intestine, and they get activated there because they are exposed to the antigen in those portions. The antigens are flowing in from the affected tissues. So here it is again mentioned about the bone marrow. It is the main lymphoid organ where all the blood cells including lymphocytes are produced. The thymus is also mentioned. It is a lobed organ. How it is big in size, and how with age it becomes small. Then what are the cells which are produced? Those I have already told you. In the thymus, T lymphocytes. What are the different T lymphocytes? In the bone marrow, B lymphocytes. So all these are mentioned. In very brief, it is mentioned. I've shown you the diagram. And another thing is, here they have mentioned one more, that one. There is lymphoid tissue located along the lining of the major tracts. So our entire respiratory tract, digestive tract, urinogenital tract, they have a mucosa lining. And in the mucosa lining, you will find some lymphoid tissues are there. Wherever there will be blood tissue, you will expect to find lymph tissue, because when from the capillaries the fluid will come out, 15% of that tissue fluid has to be drained out by lymph. So there has to be lymph tissue, and that lymph tissue is called mucosa associated lymphoid tissue. Full form is MALT. Sometimes in exam they ask for the full form. So it constitutes around 15% of the lymphoid tissue. So this is the overall discussion of the lymphatic system in our body, autoimmune response, and allergy. In the next video, I'll be discussing about HIV/AIDS. Thank you.